Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Alberto Hernandez from ITC, and I will be your host today. Thank you for joining this visit to our factory. We have visitors from the 5 continents, so welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us, despite of the difference in the timetable you have there. Today, we will show you our newest product, the DOSmart pump. We have made some publicity through LinkedIn and through YouTube, so you have had the opportunity to have some of the main characteristics of this product. However, you will see today everything in direct and alive. So the first thing I want to explain you is how is the session to be carried out. First, we will have a short presentation with some PowerPoint slides to let you know what are the main characteristics of the pump. Afterwards, we will move to our training lab, and Mr. Xavier Corbella will show you everything in practice. You will see the pump in operation. Finally, Mrs. Mireia Martinez will read the questions we have received through the communication channel, and myself will answer the questions you have said. You can place any question since the beginning of the session till the end, okay? Depending on the number of questions, we will reply all of them, or we will reply to them separately. So, welcome once again. You joined this session to know what's DOSmart, and now you can see what's DOSmart. DOSmart is a new dosing pump based on new technology. This dosing pump is always manufactured as a diaphragm pump. And you can see its size. For the customers that already know our products, we would say it's a product that ranges between our DOStech pump and our DOStech AC pump. But let's know a little bit more about the product. What are the newest things on this pump? This pump is based on a step motor. This gives the pump very special characteristics regarding the control and the operation of the system. It has an improved control board to guarantee that everything runs smoothly. In the same line as our latest products, the DOSmart pump has communication through Modbus and can be controlled and monitored via our app. In addition, in order to help the installation for this pump, we have supplied many options for installation. Let's go a little bit deeper on this. What are the main features of this pump? It was a very wide range of flow, from 1.5 liters per hour at 16 bar till 60 liters per hour at 2 bar. It's extremely important the turn-down ratio we can achieve with this pump. We can reduce the flow up to 3,000 times. Remember that under normal operation, a DOStech pump can be regulated from 10 to 100%. So turn-down ratio is from 1 to 10. We are going to 3,000. This allows us to dose even in the range of milliliters per hour. To achieve this, we can work with the step motor, and this way we reduce pulsation to the minimum. One very interesting feature of this pump is that it has the possibility to compensate the flow based on the pressure reading. As most of you know, diaphragm pumps change the flow they are delivering when the pressure is changing. If we have a way to measure what's the pressure on the line, we can modify the output of the pump so we can get a fixed flow. And all of this is achieved with an excellent precision. Another important thing, and we will see it later, is a high suction lift, up to 6 meters. Even we are using very narrow pipelines. Additionally, we have several possibilities for control. Later, we will discuss about this. And as I said, the remote application allows us to make everything that we can do on the machine. And this is done through a communication gate. In addition to that, and in order to make the use of the pump easier, we have advanced alarm settings. So we can control the lack of flow, if there is a diaphragm rupture, or if there is a level switch connected. In fact, there are 2 level switches that can be connected to this pump. What are the normal operation modes for this pump? These operation modes are the standard operation mode, where we have suction and discharge, but when we reduce the flow, the only part that is affected is the discharge part. So when we modify the flow of the pump, in fact, what we are doing is to make a more even distribution of the product, because the suction remains the same, but the discharge time is increased. This way, we reduce the pulsation. And a specific option, as I said before, is to work as constant flow based on the pressure reading. This is optional. You can choose if the pump will run normal or will run with pressure compensation. We can work also on slow suction mode. This way, we can increase the viscosity of the flow of the fluid we are handling up to 3,000 millipascals per second. This is a high viscosity product. To achieve this, we have to modify the profile for the suction and discharge, and this gives place to a reduction of the flow. We have 2 levels for this special configuration. In one of them, we reduce the flow to 70% of the nominal flow, and in the second one, which is the most convenient for high viscosity, the flow is reduced to 50%. And finally, we have a specific mode for pump calibration. What are the control options we have for this pump? We can make it run manually. We change directly the flow of the pump. You will see later in the training lab. But we can modify the flow, as I said, from 1 to 3,000 times. We can work proportionally to the flow. We have a flow meter connected to the pump, and based on the reading we have on the pipeline, the dosing pump will modify its output in order to fix the proportionality to this flow. We can also work proportionally in a different way. In the mode, we call it XY. We are receiving pulses, which are X, and we are injecting strokes, which are the Y. And we can work with any combination of X and Y. The pump can also be controlled by external signal for 20 milliampere. It has also special mode for batch dosing, in which we can start and stop the pump based on time or based on an external signal. And the final use for that will be delivering a total volume. We will not focus on the flow, but on the total volume delivered. Additionally, it can be controlled by Modbus to connect to any SCADA system that runs on this communication, and have remote activation, so we can start the pump in any moment. And all this is available also through our APP. What are the main technical characteristics for this pump? The pump head can be made on polypropylene, PVDF, or stainless steel. Diaphragm, it's always made of Teflon. It's a multi-layer diaphragm. And the sealing can be bison, EPDM, or AFLAS. Given the characteristics of the motor we are using for this pump, the consumption is extremely low. Power consumption for DOSmart pump is only 32 watts. And the electrical supply can be single phase, 110 or 230 volts AC at 50 or 60 hertz, or can be 24 volts continuous. As I said before, we have also adapted and modified our fittings and valves. So we have several options for tubing, 4x6, 6x8, 6x12, 10x12, all of them available. However, there is a recommended size for each flow of the pump. In order to get the best connectivity, the connectors we are using are standard M12 connectors. And all of this is IP65. These are very general information. If you have any question, please use our channel and we will try to answer everything afterwards. Additionally, we have to offer you, and we want to offer you, the possibility to have personalized, tailor-made presentations, so you can join us and have the knowledge about the pump with all the features and menus. Nowadays, we will only show you some of the basic things, and thank you for your attention. And now you can see the pumping operation at our training lab with Xavier Corbella. Xavi, it's your time.
Okay, hello, thank you, Alberto. I hope sound is okay, so we can start with playing with the pump. And this is the time to start to run the pump and to see the different kind of configurations for the menus. So we have, let's show what is on the display. On the display, we have the flow in liters hour or in gallons per hour. We can see also the regulation of the pump, if we are working at 100% or we are working at lower value of regulation. Also, we can see the speed of the pump in strokes per minute. And when we run the pump, we will have a switch to switch on the display to switch on and switch off the pump, right? On the bottom, we have the menus, the mode operations menu, configuration menu, alarm menu, and the monitor menu. Let's go into the mode just to select the different options for the operation mode. So we have manual, proportional, analog, and batch mode. This is what explained before Alberto. Let's go into select that manual mode. Then we have here the M of manual and appears the switch to run the pump. That is what we are going to do right now. So at the time that we press enter, we will see that the pump is delivering the product to those. One of the most important points of that pump is that as the low pulsation on the delivery of the product. At the time that we reduce the flow, what we are doing is the suction cycle remains stable, remains with no change, but what we are doing is taking longer time for the delivery cycle. By doing this, what we have is that we reduce the gap between two cycles, the gap between two injections. So the space of the time with no product injected is being reduced a lot. So this is the reason that we call the low pulsated flow. Actually, you see that the short time in sections and the long time in the discharge of the product. For us, what we see is that the suction cycle is very important, because if we don't fill completely the head, we won't have an accurate flow on the discharge side. So we need to ensure that the head is completely filled with product. And for this, we will have the option that Alberto mentioned before, that these are the special dosing modes where we can choose from the standard, that is the one that we have already seen. And also we have the slow suction modes. With slow suction modes, these are specially designed for high viscosity products. As Alberto said, we can achieve until 3,000 millipascals per second in most of the range of the models of this DOSmart. And also it will help when we have long suction pipes. How we do this? As explained before, what we do is we decrease the suction speed at 50% in the standard mode, while the rated flow of the pump, this case is 8 liters hour pump, but when we select that mode, we have reduced the flow just at 75% of that flow, so at 6 liters. So we reduce the speed in section at half, but we don't lose half of the nominal flow. Just we remain at 75 of this nominal flow. As we consider very important to ensure that the suction has been done properly, so we put the focus on the designs to have products, in general, dosing pumps with a high suction capacity. For this, we will show you the capacity of that pump that can have a suction lift of 6 meters. We can do this right now here, but we can share a video where you can see how it performs. Here you can see how from an empty pipe we do the suction, and in that case the window was placed at 5 meters, but even we have an extra meter left yet. Okay, so once we see the video, I would like to show you the possibilities through the APP. So what we have on the APP is all the same functions that we have on the same pump, on the display on the pump. We have all these options in the APP through the smartphone or a tablet. So we have the on-off button as well. So we can switch on the pump. We can run the pump also through the app. We can change the flow. So here we can input the desired flow. Also, we can choose the operation mode between the different operation modes that we explained before. And actually, we have the monitor window that while the pump is working, we can see all the parameters of the motor parameters, all the inputs from the different sensors that are controlling the pump, and also the inputs, the value of the inputs for external signals, and as well as the outputs for the external signals as well, right? We have counters to know the amount of strokes, the amount of hours, the amount of volume delivered by this flow as well. At the same time, through the APP, what we can do is going through the configuration menu, where we have the different options of configurations, as well as the alarms. On the alarms, we have alarms for the different safety devices that we can plug to the pump, as well as level sensors. We have two level sensors, one for warning and the other one to stop the pump. We have flow failure sensors. We have a diaphragm failure detector. We have also pressure sensors that can be connected, and all of these alarms can be configured to send an email or even an SMS as well, or both of them. So you can receive this warning or this alarm to your cell phone and to do the action required immediately. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this quick view. Now my colleague Alberto will answer the questions that you have sent to us, and I transfer the communication to Alberto.
Hi again. Hello? I'm waiting for the questions. You can use the channel to send any question you have about the pump and its operation and information you might need. Please write on the chat, and Mireia, we will read the questions you have sent to us. When you want, Mireia, you can start with the questions.
Yeah, hello, good morning, Alberto. Welcome, everybody. We have some questions right now. From one side, they are asking, what signal does the DOSmart accept when we work in proportional mode?
Okay, as I said before, on proportional mode, we can work on two ways. We can work with high frequency flow meters, and in such case, we are receiving hertz. This signal goes directly, and we can set on the pump what is the percentage we want to dose or the ppms we want to dose. This is high frequency flow meter. Or we can also work on low frequency flow meter, like water meters, where we send pulses. And based on these pulses, we can set in the model X, Y, the number of injections we want to make. In addition, we can also use these low frequency pulses in order to work in a proportional way. But in this option, the time between pulses will be considered as a fixed flow. So we know the equivalence for one pulse to a volume, and we know the time between pulses. So we will consider that the average flow during this period would remain the same.
Thank you, Alberto. I have another question. Yeah. Are you using standard ITC valves on the pump?
This is a good question. We are using the same size for connection, but the internal part of the valve is different. In fact, given that we are working at very low flow, we have two ball valves. This way we get the best accuracy on the dosing. In addition, the way we will supply the pumps will be a little bit different. In this case, we have standard connection, the threaded connection, but we will have adapters to the size of pipelines I told you before. 4x6, 6x8, 8x12, 10x12. So all of these can be connected. These are connections for tubing, but the valves will be remain with the same thread connection. Also, it is possible to make a special configuration for the valves, like in the case of viscous fluids, where we have a spring-loaded valve or special sizes for the valves.
Good. I have another one question, please. They are asking us, is it possible to install a degassing head like on the Dositec?
Okay, we have a standard. I have one pump in front of me. As standard, we have a manual priming valve on the pump. and this is standard. It's always included on the pump. The priming valve is manual. One of the projects in which our technical department is involved for 2021 is the automatic degassing valve for this pump. And the idea is to have it also available for the small range of DOSmart AC pumps. But this is one of the projects in which our technical department is working now.
Good. I have one last question.
Yes?
Yeah, good. They're asking us, how does the DOSmart send emails and telephone messages?
Yes. As we said before, we use the pump, and given that we can communicate it through Modbus, we can go out. We use this Modbus connection based on RS-485 to connect to a gate. The gate is connected to the RS-485. And this communication gate, it's our door to the cloud. From the cloud, we can see what Xavier has shown you on the application. We can issue all the email and SMS messages to let you know that there is an alarm event, and everything is done through the gate. This gate by itself connects only to the pump, but we have to connect it also to the network. And to do that, we can use Ethernet cable, or we can go to any external mode to an external modem, sorry, to go to the internet.
Good. It seems we do not have more questions yet. I will let you know in case someone has more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I encourage you to send some questions if you have something. As an alternative, we are open to arrange any meeting tailor-made specifically to let you know everything about the pump. In fact, this presentation was made to make what we usually do on shows, on fairs. Unfortunately, given the situation we are facing worldwide because of the COVID-19, we have not had the opportunity to show this pump in all the traditional fairs we take part, and we have chosen to do this open presentation to everybody. However, as I said several times, continue on our downstream philosophy of working, we can arrange specific meetings for you in order to have the best knowledge about our products. Is there any other question, Mireya? If it's not, we can finish the meeting, maybe.
Yeah, some questions arrived now.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, they're asking us, when will be the pump available to the market?
Okay, good question. From tomorrow, you will have all the information available in our website. We will have the handbooks, we will have the data sheets, we will have the brochures. And by the end of January, the first unit will be available. So let's say it's already in the market. We are waiting for your order.
Okay, we have another question, Alberto. If we can send the presentation we are carrying out to put it in their websites.
Okay, send us an email regarding this, okay, and we will manage.
Good. There's another question. They're asking us, are you looking at adding pump with larger flows than 60 liters per hour?
As I explained during my presentation, as we increase the size of the pump, as we increase the flow, the pressure is reducing largely. In fact, when we work at 60 liters per hour, we can only dose against 2 bars. With this configuration we have with DOSmart pump, we can't go higher. In fact, this point is starting to overlap with DOStech AC, which is a pump with higher performance than DOSmart. But maybe in the future we can increase the size for DOSmart and go for higher flows. But nowadays the project finish in the 60 liters per hour pump. Maybe in the future, if there is a demand for that, obviously the same way we have developed this pump, we can go to the higher flow.
Okay, it seems we are not receiving more questions right now, but I will let you know if we receive another one.
Okay, let's wait for a couple of minutes more in case someone has to send us some questions. And if not, in about 2-3 minutes, we finish the connection. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation. I hope you have a good impression about the pump. And this is one project in which our technical department has been involved during the whole 2020 year. So we are very confident on this new product. Any other question, Mireya?
Yeah, one more. They are asking us, can we get the DOSmart catalog after the presentation? And who's your target markets for this pump type?
Yes. First question, as I said, the catalog and everything will be available on the website from tomorrow. If you have a demand for today, after finishing the presentation, let us know your email and we will manage to send you this information. Everything's available and everything is ready. And the second question, what's the target market for this pump? This pump stays between the DOSitech pump in terms of flow and the DOStech AC pump. What's the main advantage of this pump compared with both models? It's the way we can control the flow. In DOSitech and in DOStech AC, when the flow has to be reduced to a very low flow, there is a big gap without dosing. So we make dosing and then we make the suction, and then we make the injection, then the suction. So there is always a big gap. With this new pump, we minimize this effect. So we are offering a very good solution in order to handle very low flow applications. Where can this be used? This can be used for water treatment. In case of chlorination, for instance, where very low flows are required often. We can use it in water treatment in the handling of viscous fluids, like polyelectrolytes, because we have a very high suction power. Usually on these applications, we don't need very high pressures because most of the water plants don't operate at high pressure. So with the whole range, we can cover the operation of the pump. It has also uses in industry. Again, the main advantages are the possibility to go to very low flows. We can reach milliliters per hour, and milliliters per hour without compromising the delivery of the product, because we are increasing the discharge time. So it's more even dosing when we go to lower flow than in higher flow, in fact. And also it can be used in agriculture. In some cases, we have to add chemicals at very low concentration, and with this pump, we can deliver properly. So it could be a wide standard pump in terms of application. Any other question, Mireia?
Alberto, there are some questions more, but I think we ran out of time. So we are going to answer these questions by email personally. And also, please, if the people who's viewing us, if you have more questions, you can send it directly to us, to the email address of itc@itc.es, or you can contact us directly to Mr. Alberto, Mr. Anton, also to me, Mrs. Mireia, and we will gladly answer you all your questions you will have regarding this pump.
Okay. Then we finish with the meeting, and we are ready to give you any answer you might need. Thank you for joining us, and good day or good night, depending on the place where you are connected. Bye-bye. Thank you.